They found my daughter in the bathtub 3 days ago. Now I'm standing here at her funeral, watching my son-in-law cry crocodile tears into a silk handkerchief that probably cost more than her last birthday gift. "Grandma," Tommy whispers, tugging at my black dress. He's 7, with his mother's dark eyes and his father's calculating stare. Mommy's belly is growing. I freeze. Sarah's been departed 72 hours. Bodies don't grow in caskets. "What did you say, sweetheart?" Tommy doesn't answer. Instead, he walks straight to the open casket before I can stop him. The funeral director steps forward, but I raise my hand. Something cold is crawling up my spine, the same feeling I got the night Sarah called me at 2 a.m., whispering that she'd made a terrible mistake marrying David. That was 6 months ago. I thought she meant the marriage. Now I'm not so sure. Tommy reaches the casket. His small hand grabs the hem of Sarah's dress. I should stop him, but my feet won't move. Everyone's watching now, silent, confused. David's face has gone white. The boy pulls up the fabric. What I see makes my stomach turn to ice. Sarah's abdomen is distended, stretched tight against her skin. But it's not pregnancy. Through the thin fabric of her slip, I can see something dark, something wrong. The funeral home did their makeup job on her face and hands, but they didn't expect anyone to look beneath the dress. There are bruises, deep purple-black bruises covering her entire torso. And something else, puncture marks, small and precise, dotting her ribcage in a pattern too deliberate to be accidental. "She fell in the bathtub," I say slowly, my voice cutting through the shocked silence. "That's what the police report said." David moves fast, too fast. He grabs Tommy's arm and yanks him away from the casket. "Don't touch your mother," he hisses. Then louder, forcing his voice to break, "I'm sorry, everyone. The boy doesn't understand. But I understand. I understand perfectly." I step forward and look David straight in the eye. "We need to talk, now. This isn't the time. Now." Something in my voice makes him step back. Good. He should be afraid. I'm 53 years old. I've buried my parents, my husband, and now supposedly my daughter. I've got nothing left to lose and everything to gain. We move to the funeral home's side room, David reluctant, me determined. Tommy follows before David can stop him. The boy knows something. Children always know. I close the door. "What did you do to her?" "I don't know what you're talking about." David's voice is steady, practiced. He's had time to rehearse this. "Sarah slipped in the tub. The medical examiner was paid off or incompetent," I finish. "Those bruises aren't from a fall. Those puncture marks aren't from hitting tile." "You're grieving. You're not thinking clearly." I laugh, and it's not a pleasant sound. "I'm thinking clearer than I have in months. Sarah called me. She told me she was afraid. I thought she meant afraid of the marriage failing, but she meant afraid of you." David's face hardens. The mask of the grieving husband cracks just enough for me to see what's underneath. "You can't prove anything. Watch me." I turn to leave, but Tommy speaks up, his voice small but clear. "Daddy gave Mommy shots, in her tummy. She cried." The room goes very, very quiet. David's hand shoots out and grabs my arm. His grip is iron-hard, painful. "Listen to me carefully, Margaret. You're going to walk back out there, finish this funeral, and go home." The boy's confused. He's traumatized. He doesn't know what he's saying. I look down at his hand, then back up at his face. "Let go of me." "Or what?" That's when I drive my knee into his groin. David doubles over, gasping. I grab Tommy and head for the door, but David recovers faster than I expected. He blocks our path, and now the mask is completely gone. What I see in his eyes is pure hatred. "You have no idea what you're dealing with," he says. "Sarah found out too much. She couldn't keep her mouth shut. I tried to warn her. I protected my interests." He straightens up, adjusting his tie. "And I'll do the same with anyone else who gets in my way, including you." I could scream, I could call for help, but the funeral home is full of David's friends, his business associates, People who have every reason to believe his story and none to believe mine. Sarah's own brother is out there, and he never liked me much anyway. So instead, I do something David doesn't expect. I smile. I'm going to destroy you, I say calmly. Not today, not tomorrow, but soon. I walk past him, Tommy's hand in mine. David lets us go. He thinks I'm just a grieving mother, delusional, powerless. He has no idea who he's dealing with. But he will. I sit in the booth at Rosie's diner, the flickering overhead light casting a harsh glow on the folder in front of me. I try to steady my hands, but the tremble is there, subtle but insistent. I've heard of people like David Pierce before, predators who hide behind polished facades. But hearing Mills confirm it in such cold, matter-of-fact terms makes it all too real. The folder is heavy with the weight of secrets and lies, with the faces of women who shared the same fate as my daughter. The fear in their eyes is a mirror to the look Sarah wore in her final months, the haunted gaze that I couldn't understand then, but I understand now. She knew. She must have known. And still, she stayed. My mind races as I turn the pages of the folder. There are photos, blurred like surveillance shots taken from a distance, of David, his charming smile and expensive suit, making him look every bit the professional, every bit the respectable husband. But it's the other pictures, the ones of his ex-wives, that make my stomach churn. One of them, a woman with brown eyes and dark hair, has a bruise on her neck, barely visible in the low light of the photo. Another woman's face is pale, her eyes glassy and vacant, like she's already a memory. They all died too young. They all died suspiciously. I swallow hard, the taste of bile rising in my throat. He's done this before. He's done this so many times. And now he's done it to my daughter. Mills's voice breaks through my thoughts, sharp and steady. Get the evidence. Get him before he gets away. The urgency in his voice is a cold reminder that time is running out. If David knows I'm onto him, he'll disappear. He'll take Tommy, change his name, start over. I look at the second folder Mills gave me, the one with the architectural plans. David's house, his sanctuary, his fortress. It's almost laughable how meticulously he's built his life. Every detail of his house is in these blueprints, his study, his safe, the layout of the rooms. There's a sense of arrogance in it, a belief that no one will ever challenge him. And why would they? The police can't touch him. The FBI can't touch him. But I can. I'm just not sure I'm ready to. The thought of breaking into his house sends a wave of panic over me. I'm not a criminal. I'm a mother, a grandmother. What if I get caught? What if the police do show up before I can find anything? What if David comes home early, or worse, catches me in the act? But I know what will happen if I don't do this. If I don't act now, David will slip away again, and another woman will be his next victim. It might be someone else's daughter, someone else's sister, but I can't let that happen. I won't. I slip the architectural plans into my purse, along with the photos and medical records. My hands are shaking so hard I can barely zip it up. I can hear Mills's voice in my head, cold and insistent. You need to act fast. It's dark outside when I leave the diner. The streets are quieter than usual, and the air is thick with tension. I drive home with my mind racing, each thought colliding with the next until I can't keep track of them all. When I pull into the driveway, I sit in the car for a moment, staring at the house that was supposed to be a safe place for me and Tommy. I feel like I'm on the edge of something huge, something irreversible, and I don't know if I can stop it once I step into the darkness. But then I remember Sarah. I remember how she looked at me in her final days, how she tried to tell me something, but couldn't, how she was slipping away, and I couldn't save her. I get out of the car, grab my purse, and head inside. Tommy is asleep in his room, his small body curled up under the blanket. He's safe for now, but I don't know how much longer that will last if I don't do something. I call Mills. I'm going, I tell him, my voice trembling despite my best efforts to stay calm. "I'll do it tonight." He doesn't respond for a moment. Then, finally, he says, "Good. I'll make the call to the neighbor. You have 20 minutes. Get in, get the evidence, and get out. Don't hesitate. Don't second-guess yourself. You can do this." The line goes departed before I can say anything else. I take a deep breath and head to the garage, pulling out the car keys. The drive to David's house feels like it takes an eternity, even though it's only 15 minutes away. The streets are empty, the house is dark. When I turn onto his street, I see the familiar mansion looming ahead. It's the kind of house that screams wealth, with its stone facade, manicured lawn, and tall iron gates. It's a place designed to intimidate, to keep people out. I park down the block, out of sight of the security cameras that I know must be watching the front of the house. My hands are slick with sweat as I clutch the keys, the weight of what I'm about to do settling heavily in my chest. I pull the hood of my jacket up, trying to mask my face as best as I can. There's no going back now. The first step is the hardest. I walk quickly, my heart pounding in my chest as I make my way toward the side of the house. Mills said David keeps a key under the flower pot by the back door, and sure enough, when I lift it, there it is. I unlock the door and slip inside, the faint smell of expensive cologne and leather filling my nostrils. I move through the house with the precision of a burglar, but I'm not a thief. I'm hunting for something more valuable than any jewel or cash, evidence that will bring David down once and for all. The study is at the back of the house, just like in the blueprints. I'm almost there when I hear a car pull into the driveway. David's home. I freeze, my hand still gripping the handle of the study door. I can't afford to panic. I can't afford to make a mistake now. I dart to the hallway, ducking behind a coat rack, my heart hammering in my chest. I hear footsteps, his footsteps, coming closer. He's coming inside. The tension in my body is unbearable as I press myself against the wall, holding my breath. The seconds stretch out into an eternity as I wait for him to pass. Finally, I hear him walk into the kitchen, the door closing softly behind him. I exhale, my body shaking. I can't do this. I can't go through with it. But then I remember Sarah, remember the fear in her eyes, the way she couldn't fight anymore. I force myself to move, my body moving on autopilot as I creep toward the study. The bookshelf is just ahead, the safe behind it. I slide open the door to the study, my eyes scanning the room quickly. There, behind the bookshelf, is the safe. I know it's locked, but I have the code, the one Mills got from his sources. My fingers tremble as I input the numbers, the soft beeping of the safe sounding impossibly loud in the silence. The safe clicks open. I can't breathe. Inside are files, documents, medical records, and there, at the very top, is a thick leather-bound journal. I grab it and stuff it into my bag, but before I can leave, I hear it again. The unmistakable sound of footsteps. He's coming. I have to get out. I slam the safe shut, my hands shaking uncontrollably, and make my way back to the door. As I slip through the back, I hear David's voice, just ahead in the hallway. "Please don't see me. Please don't see me." I take a deep breath and slip into the darkness outside. The cool night air hits my face, but I barely feel it. All I can think about is the journal in my bag, the evidence that will bring David Pierce down. But I don't stop running. Not yet. Not until I'm safe. The car races through the dark streets, tires screeching as Mills pushes the pedal to the metal. My heart is still hammering in my chest, adrenaline coursing through my veins, and for a moment, I can't breathe. But then I clutch Sarah's folder tightly, feeling the weight of the evidence pressing against my hands. I remind myself of why I'm doing this. Justice. I'm doing this for her. Mills glances at me, his face a mask of intensity. "We have to get this to the right people, Margaret. We don't have long." I nod, my throat dry. I barely hear him, though. My mind is still back at David's house, still racing over every detail. The house, the safe, The folders, the sick, methodical way David had tracked every step of Sarah's demise. And now, the lies he's told everyone. The way he's gotten away with it, all under the guise of normalcy. People who knew him, even liked him, had no idea what he was capable of. But I know now. I know everything. The sirens are growing distant, but they don't matter. Mills knows how to lose them. He's been on the run before, lived a life that most people couldn't even imagine. That's why I trust him. After what seems like an eternity, Mills pulls into an alley behind a nondescript building on the edge of town. Stay close, and don't say anything unless I say so. You know what we're up against now. I grip Sarah's folder tighter, nodding. My mind is too consumed with the implications of what we've just stolen from David to worry about what's next. But I know Mills is right. There's a strategy here. I have to trust him. I can't let my emotions drive this. I can't let my hatred for David cloud my judgment. Mills opens the door and leads me to the back of the building, moving quickly, purposefully. I can feel the weight of what's ahead pressing on me, suffocating almost. But the folder in my bag is the lifeline, the truth, the key. We reach a small, unmarked door, and Mills knocks twice, quick and sharp. A voice responds from inside, low and gravelly. Who is it? Mills, he says, his tone calm but assertive. There's a pause. Then the door creaks open. A man with a scruffy beard and dark eyes steps aside, motioning for us to enter. Got the goods? He asks, glancing at the bag I'm clutching like it holds my very soul. I pull the folder out and hand it to him without a word. His eyes flick over the documents quickly, and I can see the moment he realizes what we have. This is it, he says, voice hardening. This is everything. I don't respond. Instead, I take a deep breath, trying to steady myself. There's no turning back now. Mills steps forward. I need you to get this to the right people. This goes to the DA, and it needs to be airtight. I want David in a cell, not just out on bail while we figure out the next move. The man with the scruffy beard looks between us, his eyes calculating. He knows what's at stake. It'll be done, he mutters, and I hear the steel in his voice. I want to believe him. I have to believe him. There's a brief silence as he examines the folder, then he nods once. You'll hear from me. Go back to your safe house. Lay low. I start to turn, but Mills places a hand on my shoulder. Don't let your guard down. David won't stop. He's going to come after you. He'll try anything to cover his tracks. I meet his eyes. I know. Outside, the night feels different. The air, heavier, as if everything I've just done has shifted something in the universe, and nothing will ever be the same again. I feel the weight of that. It's a burden I'm not sure I'm ready for, but I'll carry it. For Sarah. We head back to the car, but I can't shake the feeling that we're being watched. The hairs on the back of my neck stand up, and I glance around. The street lights flicker as we pass under them, casting long shadows on the pavement. Mills doesn't seem to notice, or maybe he's just used to the paranoia. He's been doing this for too long. I press my fingers to my lips, still tasting the fear and anger that coursed through me just hours ago. We're in too deep now. David's not just some cheating husband or manipulative businessman. He's a murderer, not unless we stop him. The car pulls to a stop outside a small, old building. Mills looks at me, his eyes serious. Go in, stay there until I tell you it's safe. I don't argue. I just nod and slip out of the car, the cool air hitting my face like a slap. Inside, the place smells of dust and old wood. It's not much, but it's a safe place for now. I sit in the corner, the folder still clutched tightly in my hands, and wait. My thoughts keep circling back to David. I keep seeing his face when he realized I was bluffing, when he thought he had me cornered. But I had the last laugh. For now. The silence of the room feels oppressive, but it's a welcome relief after the chaos of the past few hours. My muscles ache from the tension. Every part of me feels like it's been pulled taut, like a string waiting to snap. And then the phone rings. I pick it up without thinking, and the voice on the other end makes my stomach drop. Mills isn't coming, the voice says, cold and calm, and neither are you. Who is this? Doesn't matter, the voice replies. What matters is that you've made a mistake. You've taken something that doesn't belong to you, and now it's going to cost you. The line goes departed. I sit there for a moment, the room spinning around me, and then I hear the sound of footsteps outside. Someone's coming. They know where I am. I pull the folder close to my chest, my heart pounding in my ears. The safe house is no longer safe. David is coming for me. It's not over yet, not by a long shot. The FBI takes 3 days to verify the documents. 3 days of me staying in a motel under a fake name. 3 days of Tommy crying for his mother. 3 days of David's lawyers filing restraining orders and claiming I'm mentally unstable. But on the 4th day, they arrest him. I'm there when they do it. Mills pulls strings to let me watch from an unmarked car across the street. David comes out of his house in handcuffs, still wearing his expensive suit, still trying to maintain that facade of respectability. The facade cracks when he sees me. For just a moment our eyes meet, and in that moment I see something I never expected. Fear. Good. He should be afraid. The trial takes 8 months. 8 months of lawyers and depositions and media coverage. David's defense team tries every trick, claiming the journals are fabricated, attacking my credibility, suggesting Sarah was suicidal. They even try to paint Tommy as an unreliable witness, coached by his vindictive grandmother. But the evidence doesn't lie. The exhumation of David's previous wives reveals the same pattern of organ damage, the same trace amounts of insulin and other substances. Toxicology reports that were never ordered the first time now paint a damning picture. And then there's the testimony from David's pharmacist connections, people who started talking once they realized they could cut deals. The verdict comes on a cold November morning. I'm in the courtroom, Tommy beside me. He's 8 now, older, quieter. He doesn't talk much about his mother, but sometimes I catch him staring at her photograph with an expression too ancient for his age. The word echoes through the courtroom. David doesn't react, doesn't move, but I see his hands clench on the table. 3 more guilty verdicts follow, 1 for each of his previous wives. The judge sets the sentencing for the following week. Outside the courthouse, reporters mob us. I shield Tommy and let Mills do the talking. He's good at it, having done this before. He explains how the evidence came together, how justice was served, how this never should have gotten this far. What he doesn't mention is the night I broke into David's house. The official story is that an anonymous tip led to a warrant. It's close enough to the truth. Tommy tugs my sleeve. Can we go home now, Grandma? Home. My house, where Sarah grew up, where Tommy will grow up now. David's lawyers tried to fight me for custody, but that battle ended the day the guilty verdict came in. Yeah, sweetheart, we can go home. The sentencing hearing is packed. Families of David's victims fill the courtroom, all waiting to see justice served. I'm in the front row, Tommy at my side, when they bring David in. He looks different, thinner, greyer, diminished. Prison does that to people, Mills told me, strips away the masks they wear. The prosecutor stands up. Your Honor, the people recommend 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. He has shown no remorse, no humanity, no recognition of the suffering he caused. David's lawyer tries to argue for leniency. It's pathetic, desperate. The judge cuts him off. Mr. Pierce, I've reviewed your case extensively. I've read the journals you kept, documenting each murder with the detachment of a scientist conducting an experiment. I've seen the evidence of your calculated cruelty, your manipulation, your complete lack of conscience. The judge pauses, looking directly at David. You are a danger to society. You will never be free again. 4 life sentences, consecutive, no parole. David's face finally shows emotion, rage, pure and burning. He starts to turn, to say something, but the bailiffs are already moving him out. As he passes my row, he stops, looks at me, and whispers, "This isn't over." I stand up. Yes, it is. Mills puts a hand on my shoulder, steadying me as David is led away. Around us, people are crying, hugging, finding closure in whatever way they can. But I don't feel closure. I feel empty, hollow. Sarah is still departed. No verdict will bring her back. Tommy takes my hand. "Is the bad man gone forever?" "Yes, sweetheart, forever." "Good." He squeezes my fingers. "Mommy would be happy." Maybe. Or maybe Sarah would just be sad that it came to this, that her life ended at 32 because she trusted the wrong person. We leave the courthouse through a side exit, avoiding the cameras. Mills walks us to my car, his face grim. "You did good, Margaret. You got justice for Sarah." "Justice?" I laugh bitterly. Sarah's still departed. David's 3 other wives are still departed. That's not nothing. No, but it's not enough. Mills doesn't argue. He understands. He's been doing this work for decades, watching monsters get caught only after they've destroyed multiple lives. The system doesn't prevent these things. It just cleans up the mess afterward. I drive Tommy home, both of us silent. The house feels empty without Sarah. I've kept her room exactly as it was, unable to pack up her things, unable to let go. Tommy goes straight to his room, Sarah's old room, converted for him after she died. I hear him moving around, unpacking his backpack from court. I sit in the kitchen and stare at Sarah's photograph on the wall. She's smiling, young, full of life. Before David, before everything went wrong. My phone rings, unknown number. "Hello?" Heavy breathing on the other end. Then, "You think you've won." David's voice. "But that's impossible. He's in prison. He doesn't have phone access yet." "Who is this?" "You took everything from me, Margaret. My freedom, my future. Did you really think there wouldn't be consequences?" The line goes departed. I stand up, heart pounding. It's a prank call. It has to be. David's lawyer's trying to intimidate me, or some reporter trying to get a reaction. But the breathing sounded real. The hate in David's voice sounded real. I call Mills. He answers on the first ring. Did David have any accomplices? Anyone on the outside who might come after me? Silence. Then, "Why? What happened?" I tell him about the call. Mills curses. "I'll make some inquiries. In the meantime, keep your doors locked. Don't go anywhere alone. I'll have a patrol car drive by your house a few times tonight." You think he really has someone? I think David Pierce is a narcissist who can't accept losing. Whether that means he has actual help or is just trying to scare you, I don't know, but we're not taking chances. I hang up and check all the locks. Then I check on Tommy. He's asleep, exhausted from the day. I kiss his forehead and close his door. The phone rings again. This time, I don't answer. The next few days are a blur of preparations, a whirlwind of planning and strategy. Mills doesn't hesitate, setting everything into motion with the kind of precision that I've come to rely on. He pulls in his contacts, organizes surveillance, and even arranges for additional security, all while trying to keep me and Tommy safe. But the undercurrent of danger is always there, threading through everything we do. I haven't had a full night's sleep in a week. Every time I close my eyes, I see David's face, his twisted grin, his determination to break me. The calls haven't stopped. The voices on the other end always sound the same, cold and menacing. "You haven't won. I'll be coming for you." They're not even trying to hide the threat anymore. Mills doesn't sugarcoat anything. "This is real, Margaret. We're not just catching a random thug. Whoever David sent after you, they're professionals. He's not playing anymore." I know that. I feel it in my bones. The trap we're setting is simple but dangerous. We'll make it look like I'm going back to the house, like I'm vulnerable, like I'm not expecting any more attacks. The plan is to lure David's hired gun into the open, give him the opportunity to take a shot at me, and then have Mills's team spring the trap. The catch? If anything goes wrong, if they miscalculate, if I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time, it could all go sideways. I go over it in my head again and again, trying to convince myself this is the right choice. But I can't back down. Tommy's safety is my first priority, and this is the only way to end this. To stop David's reach from extending any further into our lives. Mills makes sure I'm ready. He's got the whole thing mapped out, every detail covered. We'll use the cameras in the house and the surveillance outside to create the illusion that I'm going about my normal routine. He'll keep me in contact with him every step of the way, guiding me through it, making sure nothing goes wrong. The day of the setup, my heart pounds in my chest. It's like I can feel the weight of the world pressing down on me. Tommy's at Linda's, safe and unaware of what's coming. He's with his aunt, playing games and eating ice cream like it's just another normal day. It's the hardest part, knowing I'm going to put him through this, knowing that he might end up facing something even worse than the terror we've already lived through. I drive back to the house, the one I've tried so hard to leave behind. It still feels like Sarah is here, like I can almost hear her footsteps, feel the warmth of her presence. But there's a void now, a coldness that nothing can fill. It's as if the house itself knows what's happened, and it's waiting for the next part of the story to unfold. I pull into the driveway and step out of the car, making sure to act as natural as I can. I walk inside and set the keys on the table, looking around as if everything is normal. But my pulse is racing, my every nerve on edge. I keep checking the clock, counting down the minutes, knowing that in a few hours, everything will either be over or fall apart. Mills is on the phone with me the entire time, checking in, telling me what to expect, where to stand, what to do. I know the drill by heart now. Stay calm, stay quiet. Don't make any sudden movements. It's all a game of waiting. Waiting for them to make their move. Hours pass. Nothing. The house is silent, empty except for me. I keep the curtains drawn, just enough to peek outside. I watch the street, looking for any sign of movement, but there's nothing. No black sedan. No sign of anyone. Mills calls again. "How are you holding up?" "I'm fine." I lie, my voice tight. "Nothing yet." "Good. Keep it that way. We're in position. Don't make any noise unless you have to." I check the locks, the security system, the cameras. Everything is in place. The stage is set. Then, at the edge of my vision, I see something. Movement in the shadow of the trees near the side of the house. A figure. Small, deliberate movements. They're coming. I freeze, my heart pounding in my throat. This is it. This is the moment I've been waiting for and dreading. I keep my hand on the phone, my fingers trembling as I hold it up to my ear. "Mills, they're here." "I see someone outside. They're coming up the side of the house." "Stay calm," he says. "Don't make a sound. We're monitoring. I'll be there in less than 5. I glance at the back door. It's still locked, still secure. But I know they'll try to get in. They have to. They're here to finish what they started. The figure moves closer, disappearing behind the corner of the house. I stay low, crouching in the hallway, trying to be as invisible as possible. The air feels thick, like it's holding its breath. Seconds stretch into eternity. Then I hear it. The door handle rattles, a soft click as the lock disengages. I hold my breath, counting the seconds. The person outside is making their move. This is the moment we've been waiting for. This is the trap. I barely hear the footsteps as they come up the back steps. It's almost like they're moving in slow motion, as if they know what's about to happen. I wait, every muscle tensed, my heart pounding. The door opens with a creak, and then, lights, flashing lights. The door swings open fully, and I hear the shouts of the officers storming the house, their footsteps heavy as they rush inside. The sound of weapons being drawn, orders being barked. "Police, don't move!" The man freezes, his eyes darting toward the officers who are now surrounding him. His hand goes to his waist, but it's too late. Mills is right behind him, his gun trained on the intruder. The man raises his hand slowly, a look of resignation in his eyes. He knows he's caught. Mills steps forward, his voice hard. "You're done. Don't even think about running." The man doesn't move. Instead, he lets out a quiet laugh, a sound that sends a chill down my spine. "David always said you'd be the one to catch me." I stare at him, confused. "Who are you?" The man smiles, but it's not a friendly smile. "The one you didn't see coming." Before I can process his words, I feel the weight of the moment crash down on me. This isn't just about David anymore. This is about everything he's built, everything he's destroyed. The danger hasn't passed. It's still here, lurking in the shadows. But for the first time in months, I feel a flicker of something. Maybe it's relief, maybe it's something else. But it's there, and I don't have the strength to push it away. I look at Mills, his eyes grim but resolute. "Is it over?" He nods, but his expression is tight. "No, but we're closer than we've ever been." As the officers cuff the man and lead him out, I can't help but feel a sliver of hope. Maybe this nightmare really is coming to an end. Maybe, just maybe, Tommy and I can finally start to heal. The plan is simple. I go back to my house, alone, following my normal routine. Mills and his team watch from unmarked cars, waiting for David's associate to make a move. "He'll probably try to break in at night," Mills explains. "These guys like to work in the dark. We'll have officers inside the house, hidden. You'll be wearing a wire. The moment he enters, we move. And if he has a gun, then we move faster." It's not exactly reassuring, but I'm out of options. David won't stop until he thinks he's won, and the only way to stop him is to cut off his reach from prison. Tommy stays with Linda. I tell him I have errands to run, meetings with lawyers. He doesn't quite believe me. He's too smart for that. But he doesn't argue. The first night, nothing happens. I sit in my living room, watching TV, pretending everything is normal while two officers hide in my basement and Mills monitors from a van across the street. The second night is the same. I start to wonder if David's associate got spooked, if he knows we're waiting. On the third night, at 2 a.m., I hear glass breaking. I freeze. The sound came from the kitchen, the window that faces the backyard. Mills's voice crackles in my earpiece. "Stay calm. We see him. Moving in now." Footsteps in the kitchen, slow, careful. Whoever this is, he's not in a hurry. I stand up, following the script Mills gave me. "Hello? Who's there?" The footsteps stop. Then a man appears in the doorway. He's tall, muscular, wearing all black. His face is covered by a ski mask. "Margaret Harrison," he says. Voice calm, almost friendly. "David sends his regards." "David's in prison." "David has a long reach, longer than you think." The man pulls out a knife. Not a gun. Mills said that was likely. Knives are quieter, but the blade looks sharp enough to do plenty of damage. "He wants you to know that you made a mistake, that you should have left well enough alone." And now what? That'll just add more years to David's sentence. David doesn't care about more years. He's got 4 life sentences already. What's one more? But you'll be departed, and your grandson will be alone. No mother, no grandmother. Maybe David's lawyers will get custody after all. He takes a step forward. That's when Mills and his team burst through both doors. "Drop the weapon! Police!" The man spins, knife raised, but he's surrounded. 4 officers, all with guns drawn. He's outmatched and he knows it. For a moment, I think he'll surrender. Then he looks at me, and I see the calculation in his eyes. He's weighing his chances, deciding if he can get to me before they shoot him. Mills sees it too. "Don't. It's over." The man's shoulders slump. He drops the knife. "On the ground, now." He complies, and officers swarm him, cuffing his hands behind his back. Mills pulls off the ski mask, revealing a face I don't recognize. mid-30s, hard eyes, professional. "Who hired you?" Mills demands. The man smiles. "I want my lawyer." Of course he does. Mills walks over to me. "You okay?" I nod, but I'm shaking. The reality of what almost happened hits me all at once. If Mills hadn't been here, if the timing had been wrong, if David's associate had used a gun instead of a knife. "You did good," Mills says quietly. "We got him, and we'll get David on conspiracy charges. He's never getting out, Margaret. Never." The man is hauled away, still smiling. Like he knows something we don't. I sleep at Linda's house that night, too shaken to go home. "Tomorrow," Mills says, "they'll search David's associate's phone and computer, trace the money trail, build the conspiracy case. Tomorrow, this will really be over. But tonight, lying in Linda's guest room, I can't shake the feeling that David's reach goes deeper than any of us realize. The days blur by in the same rhythm, a cycle of small routines that I barely notice anymore. Tommy's laughter is quieter now, softer, as if it's been squeezed out of him by the weight of everything he's been through. I catch glimpses of his old self in fleeting moments, when he's playing with his toys or watching a cartoon. But it doesn't last long. His eyes often look lost, like he's still searching for something he can't find. I want to fix him. I want to give him back the innocence he lost, but I can't. No matter how much I try, no matter how much I love him, there are some wounds that can't be healed. The therapy sessions continue, Tommy still hesitant, but slowly opening up to the kind woman who has become a fixture in our lives. She tells me he's making progress, that things will get better, but I can't see it yet. Maybe it's the mother in me, always wanting more, but I don't feel like I've done enough for him. Not when I look at him and see the silent weight of his grief. I'm not much better. I go through the motions of life, but it's all hollow. I go to work. I keep the house clean. I try to make sure Tommy eats enough vegetables. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm just playing a part. The world expects me to keep going, to show up and keep moving forward. But I don't know how to. Mills checks in weekly. He's been busier since the trial ended, but I can tell he's feeling the same emptiness. Sometimes when he calls, he sounds distant, his voice heavy with something unspoken. But he's never one to talk about his own struggles, so we keep our conversations focused on Tommy, on keeping things normal, even when normal feels like a foreign concept. Some nights, I find myself awake, staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep because my mind refuses to shut off. I replay every moment, every decision, and wonder if I could have done more. If I could have seen the signs sooner, if I could have protected Sarah better. I should have known, I should have fought harder. But what good is that now? The guilt eats at me, an insistent reminder that no matter how much I fight, no matter how much I do, it will never be enough. Sarah will never come back. One evening, after Tommy goes to bed, I find myself standing in front of the window, staring out into the dark. The house is still, the silence thick, but it's in the quiet that I feel the most lost. There's no Sarah's laughter to fill the space, no footsteps running down the hall, just the echo of what was and what will never be again. I hear the faint sound of an engine approaching, and I turn to see Mills's car pull into the driveway. He's become a lifeline of sorts, the only person who understands the weight of everything we've been through. He doesn't judge me, doesn't expect me to be okay. He just is, a steady presence when everything else feels like it's slipping away. He knocks once on the door, and I open it, surprised to see him here without any prior notice. He's carrying 2 cups of coffee, the smell of it warm and inviting. "You look like you could use this," he says with a slight smile, his face etched with the exhaustion that has become all too familiar. I take the cup without a word, the warmth of the coffee grounding me in a way I didn't expect. We sit on the porch, the same routine as before, except tonight, it feels different. The air is still heavy, thick with the weight of unspoken words. Mills stares out at the horizon, and for a long time, neither of us says anything. Finally, he breaks the silence. How are you really doing? I don't answer right away. I want to say something that sounds brave, that sounds like I'm handling everything, but the truth is, I'm not. I don't know, I say honestly. Some days I feel like I'm just existing, like I'm walking through this fog and nothing really matters anymore. Mills nods, his eyes thoughtful. I get that. I've been there. You start to feel like you're running on empty, like the things that used to matter don't matter anymore. But you know, sometimes just getting through the day is enough. I laugh bitterly, the sound unfamiliar. I used to think that was enough. But now it feels like a slow burn. Every day I wake up and feel like I'm holding on to a thread, just hoping it doesn't snap. He's quiet for a moment, then takes a sip of his coffee. It's okay to not be okay, he says, his voice steady. Sometimes, just getting through is the only thing you can do, but it's enough. It has to be. I want to believe him. I want to let go of the constant ache in my chest, to stop second-guessing every decision I made. But the guilt, the grief, it's a weight I can't shake. Does it ever get easier? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. The pain, the loss, does it ever stop feeling like this? Mills looks at me, his expression soft but honest. No, it never stops hurting. But you learn to carry it. It becomes a part of you. And you keep going, not because you have to, but because you choose to. I nod, swallowing the lump in my throat. It's hard to imagine ever getting to a point where this pain feels anything less than consuming. But I know he's right. It's the only choice I have now. To keep moving forward. For Tommy, for Sarah, for myself, even if I don't know how. The night stretches on, the sound of crickets filling the air, and for a moment it's enough. Just being here, sitting in the stillness with Mills, knowing that even if things are broken, there's still a way through. Tomorrow will come, and maybe the day after that, maybe, in time, I'll find a way to make peace with what's left. But for tonight, the silence is enough. The house is still ringing with the aftershocks of the night's chaos when Mills pulls me aside, away from the officers and the flashing lights, the questions, the investigation. The adrenaline that's been coursing through my veins all night has started to fade, leaving behind the sharp, aching clarity of what just happened. What almost happened. Margaret, we need to talk, Mills says, his voice low and serious. He's never been the kind of man to sugarcoat things, but now there's an edge to his words that sends a chill down my spine. I nod, still shaking. Tommy's asleep now, finally exhausted after the terror, wrapped up in a blanket I gave him to keep the fear at bay. He's safe for now, but the fear isn't gone. It's still here, hanging heavy in the air, making the walls feel too close, too thin. I think you know what this means, Mills continues. David isn't just playing games anymore. He's escalating. Whoever this man was, he was here for a reason. He was here to hurt you, to hurt Tommy. I swallow hard. I know. It's the one thing I've been certain of through all of this. David won't stop. He's too powerful, too cunning, and his need for revenge will keep him going, even from behind bars. Mills steps closer, his eyes intense. We're going to get this guy, Margaret. We're going to make sure David can't hurt you or anyone else ever again. But I need you to listen to me. This can't keep going on. We need to figure out a way to end this, once and for all. A bitter laugh escapes my lips. I've been waiting for it to end, Mills. But David's like a shadow. He just keeps coming back. Mills leans against the wall, running a hand through his greying hair. I know, but we can't just sit here and wait for the next attack to happen. If we don't stop him, he'll keep sending people after you, and that's not a life. Not for you, not for Tommy. I feel a lump forming in my throat. It's the one thing I've feared from the beginning. David's reach doesn't end just because he's in prison. He has money, he has connections, and he's already proven that he's willing to use those connections to get what he wants. But there's a part of me that's tired of running, tired of hiding behind walls and security systems, tired of waiting for the inevitable next strike. A part of me that wants to do something, to take control of this nightmare. Mills watches me, waiting for me to make a decision, but I already know what needs to be done. I want to end this, I say, my voice stronger now, even if my hands are still trembling. I'm not going to wait for David to send someone else. I'm not going to let him destroy our lives. Mills doesn't hesitate. Then we do this together. The next few days pass in a blur of plans and preparations. We're careful, deliberate. Mills taps into his network, pulls in resources I never would have thought possible. The FBI is still working on David's case, but we both know the investigation isn't going to move fast enough to protect us from what's coming next. I can't live in fear anymore. I won't. I take a deep breath as I sit down at my kitchen table, the weight of everything on my shoulders, my mind racing with possibilities. David's obsession with control, with revenge, has gone too far. Now, it's time to take control back. Mills has set up a meeting with a few of his old contacts. These are the kind of people who know how to get things done when the law can't. They know how to make people disappear, how to get information in ways that don't leave a paper trail. It's not the kind of thing I ever thought I'd be involved in, but I've learned that when you're fighting someone like David, you have to be willing to make hard choices. The law can only protect you so much. Sometimes, you have to make your own justice. Are you sure about this? Mills asks, his voice calm but heavy with concern. I know what you're thinking, but once we do this, there's no going back. You won't be able to live the same way. You won't be able to go back to the life you had. I look at him, my heart pounding, but my resolve solid. I don't want to go back to the life I had, the one where David is always a threat, always out there, always looming. I want to live a life where I don't look over my shoulder every time I step out the door. Mills nods, understanding. Then we do this, but you need to know, this is a dangerous game. If we move on David's connections, we're not just dealing with him. We're dealing with people who will do anything to protect their own. I'm ready, I say, though part of me wonders if I truly am. But there's no time for doubt. David will keep coming, and I can't let him hurt Tommy. Not again. The meeting with Mills's contacts happens in a rundown warehouse on the edge of town. The place is dark and cold, the air thick with the smell of old concrete and oil. I'm nervous, but I don't show it. I don't have the luxury of fear anymore. We sit across from two men who don't look like much, just ordinary guys except for the eyes. There's something cold and calculating in the way they watch me, and I know that they're used to working in shadows. They know how to get things done. We're here because we need to put an end to David's game, Mills says, his voice steady. And we need your help to make that happen. We need to get to his money, his connections, and we need to shut him down for good. The men exchange a glance. One of them, a tall, wiry figure with a scar across his cheek, leans forward. You want us to go after his people, take out his network. That's a big ask. I don't hesitate. We're done waiting. I need David's life to be over. For good. The man nods slowly, sizing me up. We can do that, but it's going to cost you. This isn't a small job, and there's no guarantee that once we take down his people, they won't retaliate. You're not just asking for David. You're asking us to burn his empire to the ground. I don't care about the cost, I say, my voice sharp with determination. I just want it to end. Mills's eyes are on me, and for a moment, I wonder if he regrets bringing me into this world. But then he nods, giving his silent agreement. The deal is made. The days that follow are a blur of movement, of careful coordination, of setting everything into place. David's empire is vast, but it's also fragile. And once you take out the right pieces, it crumbles. It's not easy. It's not clean, but it's necessary. And in the end, when David's connections start falling, one by one, the weight on my shoulders lightens just a little. I won't ever be free of the scars David left on my life, but now I've taken back control. And that, at least, is something worth fighting for. A few days later, I find myself sitting at my new kitchen table, Tommy sitting across from me, working on a puzzle he's been obsessed with for weeks. The sun is streaming through the window, lighting up the room in a way I haven't seen in months. I try to focus on the normal, the simple moments. But even now, the weight of what we've been through still presses down on me, a constant presence in the back of my mind. The phone rings, breaking my thoughts, and I pick it up before the first ring can finish. "Mills?" I ask, already knowing it's him. "Margaret," he says, his voice steady, but with an edge I recognize. "You need to hear this." My heart skips a beat. "What's happened?" "The feds just raided another location connected to David. They found more money, more evidence. But here's the thing, you were right. He had a contingency plan. We've uncovered something you need to know." I feel a chill run through me. "What do you mean?" "He's been hiding a separate stash of money. Off the books, untraceable. And he's been funding a network of people outside the prison. People who've been running operations for him since the day he got locked up. They weren't just following orders, they were operating independently, planning to keep his empire running even after his conviction." I close my eyes. I've been living in a fragile bubble, one where I thought, at least for now, the danger had passed. But this news slams into me, shattering that illusion. "You're saying there are still people out there who are working for him?" "Yes, and they've been lying low, keeping quiet, but now we've got them. We've got enough to move forward, and we're going after every last one of them." I swallow, trying to steady myself. "What does that mean for Tommy and me? Are we still in danger?" Mills pauses for a moment before answering. "Not directly, but we're going to need to be more vigilant. We're not done yet. David's network is still in play, and they'll be desperate to protect their interests." I nod, my mind racing. After everything, after all we've gone through, all the work we've put in to dismantle David's empire, this is the final piece of the puzzle. It's the part I didn't see coming, the part I didn't want to believe could still exist. "I'm not going to let him hurt Tommy," I say, my voice hardening. "Not again." "You won't have to," Mills reassures me. "We've got this." I hear the uncertainty in his voice, but it's faint, a crack I wouldn't have noticed if I weren't listening so closely. "Okay," I reply. "Keep me posted. I'll be here." I hang up and the silence in the room presses in around me again. Tommy looks up from his puzzle, his face curious but calm. "Grandma?" he asks. "Who was that?" I force a smile, trying to mask the worry that still lingers. "It was Mills, just checking in." "Is everything okay?" he asks, eyes wide with concern. "Yeah, sweetheart, everything's fine." But I'm not sure I believe it myself. The next few days are filled with a quiet tension, like the calm before a storm. We stay inside most of the time, avoiding unnecessary risks. I focus on Tommy, making sure he's okay, that he's still able to find joy in the little things, even as the shadows of the past continue to stretch out behind us. Mills keeps in contact, letting me know that the investigation is moving forward. There are arrests being made, assets being seized, and more members of David's network being taken down. But there's a sense that the final pieces are being put in place, that the full weight of David's corruption is about to come crashing down. But I can't shake the feeling that we're not quite out of the woods yet. Not when there are still people out there, people who are loyal to David, who are willing to do anything to protect what he's built. One night, as I tuck Tommy into bed, he looks up at me with a question in his eyes. "Grandma, do you think we'll ever feel normal again?" I sit down beside him, my heart aching at the simplicity of the question. It's something I've asked myself 1,000 times. What does normal even look like after everything we've been through? "I don't know, sweetheart," I say softly, "but I know this. You're safe now, and we'll keep making things better, one step at a time." He nods, his small face full of trust, and I kiss him goodnight. As I close the door behind me, I feel a pang of something I can't name, a mixture of hope and fear, of knowing that even though the worst might be over, the scars will stay with us. I spend the rest of the evening sitting on the couch, staring at the walls of our new home, the house that's supposed to represent a fresh start. But the truth is, a fresh start doesn't come easily. It's built on the rubble of the past, on the things you can't forget. I pick up the phone and dial Mills's number. He answers on the second ring. "Mills, what's the latest?" I ask, my voice steady despite the knot in my stomach. "We've got more arrests," he says. "We're close, Margaret. We're getting everything we need to take down David's entire operation." I breathe a sigh of relief. "That's good, but I need you to promise me something." "What's that?" "Promise me we'll keep Tommy safe. Promise me no one else will get through." Mills is silent for a moment. "I promise. You have my word. No one's getting to him. Not while I'm still breathing." I close my eyes, a wave of gratitude washing over me. "Thank you. That's all I needed to hear." We hang up and I lean back into the couch, letting the weight of the conversation sink in. For the first time in a long time, I feel a flicker of peace. It's small, fragile, but it's there. The next day, Mills calls again. "It's done," he says, his voice filled with something I can't quite place. "We've got everything. David's done. His network is dismantled, his money's gone, and his influence is over." I swallow hard, trying to process the magnitude of what he's saying. "It's really over?" "Yeah, it is." I hang up the phone, the silence in the house suddenly deafening. I look around, trying to grasp the enormity of what this means. David is finished. His empire, his power, his grip on my life and Tommy's life, it's all gone. And yet, even as the relief washes over me, I know there's still a part of me that will never truly be free of the past. The scars are too deep, the memories too sharp. But maybe, just maybe, we can start to rebuild now. For the first time in a long time, I feel a sliver of hope. It's not the same as before, but it's something. And for Tommy, for Sarah, for myself, maybe that's enough. The trials take another 6 months. David's network crumbles as people take plea deals, trading testimony for reduced sentences. Judge Connolly gets 15 years. Kyle Richards gets 20. David gets 6 more life sentences added to his original 4. 10 life sentences total, consecutive, in maximum security. He'll die in prison. Old, alone, forgotten. I attend every hearing, every trial. I want David to see me, to know that I'm still here, still fighting, that he didn't win. At the final sentencing, David's led into the courtroom in chains. He's lost weight, his expensive suits replaced by orange prison garb. He looks small, diminished. Our eyes meet across the courtroom. I don't look away. The judge reads the sentence. David doesn't react, but as they lead him out, he stops next to my row. "Was it worth it?" he asks quietly. "All this effort, all this pain. Sarah's still departed. You still lost." I stand up to face him. "Sarah died because you're a monster, but her son is alive. He's thriving. He'll grow up knowing his mother loved him, and that justice was served. That's not losing. That's winning." David's face twists with rage. "You think?" "I don't think. I know, you're finished. Your money's gone, your connections are in prison, and you'll spend the rest of your miserable life in a cell. While I'll be home with Tommy, living the life you tried to take from us." Guards move David along before he can respond. I watch him go, his shoulders hunched, his footsteps shuffling. He looks like what he is, a defeated, broken man. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarm. I give a brief statement. Justice for Sarah, gratitude to law enforcement, hope that this exposes corruption and prevents future tragedies. The usual. Mills walks me to my car. "How do you feel?" "Exhausted, relieved, empty." "That's normal. You've been running on adrenaline for over a year." Now that it's over, the crash hits. I keep thinking about Sarah, about how she called me that night, scared, and I didn't understand. I didn't save her. You couldn't have known. David was a professional. He fooled everyone. Not everyone. Tommy knew. He tried to tell me at the funeral. And you listened. You fought for her. That's what matters. Maybe, or maybe I'm just rationalizing my failures. We drive to Linda's house to pick up Tommy. He's playing video games with Linda's son, his laughter echoing through the house. The sound makes my chest ache with bittersweet joy. Ready to go home, kiddo? I ask. Tommy pauses his game. Is it really over? The bad man can't hurt us anymore. It's really over. He's gone forever. Tommy thinks about this, then nods. Okay, let's go home. Home, our new house, where Sarah never lived, but where her memory fills every room, where Tommy will grow up safe, loved, protected. We drive back as the sun sets, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Tommy chatters about school, about his friends, about the new bike he wants for his birthday. Normal things. Beautiful, normal things. That night, I tuck him into bed and kiss his forehead. I love you, sweetheart. Love you too, Grandma. He yawns. Do you think Mommy's proud of us? I know she is. Good. His eyes drift closed. Tell her I said hi. I will. I watch him sleep for a while, his face peaceful, innocent. Then I go to my own room and pull out Sarah's photo album. Page after page of memories. Birthday parties, Christmas mornings, school plays, a life cut short, but lived fully while it lasted. We got him, I whisper to her picture. He'll never hurt anyone again. You can rest now. The photo doesn't answer, but I like to think she hears me. I close the album and turn off the light. Tomorrow, Tommy and I will have breakfast together. He'll go to school, I'll go to work. I've started volunteering at a domestic violence shelter, helping other women spot the warning signs I missed. We'll build a life from the ruins David left behind. It won't be the life Sarah should have had, but it'll be a good life, an honest life, and that's enough. Epilogue. 3 years later. Tommy's 11 now. He plays baseball, gets good grades, has friends who come over for sleepovers. He still sees his therapist once a month, but the nightmares have stopped. We talk about Sarah often. I want him to remember her, to know the woman she was before David. I tell him stories about her childhood, about how she loved singing off-key in the car and always ordered extra pickles on her burgers, about how she wanted to be a lawyer, about her dreams and hopes and plans. I tell him she loved him more than anything. That's the most important part. Mills retired officially last year. He stops by every few weeks, bringing Tommy baseball cards and me gossip about David's prison life. David's had a rough time of it. I can't bring myself to feel sorry for him. The corruption scandal Mills and I exposed led to a complete overhaul of the state's judiciary system. 3 judges were removed, 4 prosecutors were disbarred, and new oversight measures were implemented. It won't prevent all corruption, but it's a start. Sometimes I wonder if Sarah would approve of what I did. The breaking and entering, the manipulation of evidence, the bending of rules. I became the kind of person I never thought I'd be, but I got justice, and I saved Tommy. In the end, that's all that matters. I'm in the kitchen making dinner when Tommy comes home from practice, covered in dirt and grinning. We won, Grandma. 6-4. That's wonderful, sweetheart. Go wash up. He heads upstairs, and I smile, listening to him stomp around overhead. So different from the scared, traumatized child he was 3 years ago. My phone rings. Unknown number. My heart stutters. Old habits die hard, but I answer. Mrs. Harrison, this is Warden Phillips from Redwood Correctional. I'm calling to inform you that David Pierce passed away this morning. The words don't register at first. What? Heart attack, the medical examiner believes. He collapsed in the cafeteria and couldn't be revived. I wanted to notify you personally, given your connection to the case. He's departed. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry for your loss. It's not a loss, it's a release. Thank you for calling, I manage. I hang up and stand there, phone in hand, trying to process. David's departed. Actually departed. No more letters, no more threats, no more fear that somehow he'll find a way to reach us. It's really, truly over. Tommy comes back downstairs, hair damp from the shower. Who was that? Just someone about your mum's case. I pull him into a hug. Everything's fine, everything's good. He hugs me back, then pulls away with a kid's natural impatience. Can we have pizza for dinner? Sure, sweetheart, whatever you want. While Tommy calls in our order, I walk to the living room window and look out at the quiet street. Normal suburban life, the kind Sarah should have had. She didn't get her happy ending, but Tommy and I will have ours. That night, after Tommy's asleep, I take out Sarah's photo album one last time. I look at her face, young and bright and full of future, and I make her a promise. He's gone, for real this time, and Tommy's going to be okay. I'll make sure of it. I'll make sure he grows up strong and kind and nothing like David. I promise. I close the album and put it back on the shelf. Then I pour myself a glass of wine and sit on the porch, watching the stars come out. Somewhere, I hope Sarah's at peace. I hope she knows we won. Not through violence or revenge or hatred, but through persistence, through love, through refusing to let David destroy what was left of our family. The cool night air feels clean, fresh, full of possibility. Tomorrow, Tommy and I will get up and live our lives. We'll laugh and argue and make memories. We'll be a family. And David Pierce will be nothing but a bad memory, fading a little more with each passing day. I raise my glass to the sky, to justice, Sarah, and to moving forward. The stars don't answer, but the night feels peaceful, calm, like the world finally exhaled after holding its breath too long. I finish my wine and go inside, locking the door behind me. Tomorrow is a new day, and for the first time in years, I'm not afraid of what it might bring.